Judgmental. Are you judgmental? In this video, we're going to talk about, do you judge others? Do you feel judged? Why being judgmental affects you, and the law of attraction. That'll probably be my bit I'll come on to. It's like for like, read what you say. And is it any of your business? As in the factors, is it any of your business what anyone else is doing? So judgmental. Do you want to take the floor on this one, Lydia?
Yeah, go on then. Why not? So judging others. Why do we do it? It's usually to do with our own issues of self-acceptance and self-love.
And self-esteem?
And self-esteem. Yeah, it's when you've got your own insecurities, own negative emotions towards yourself, and rather than owning your own, and looking at other people, really. That's what it's all about.
I've always found, well, actually, I had an interesting conversation with someone once about, bizarrely, about bikinis. Mm-hmm. In the sense that this person wouldn't wear a bikini on holiday because they said, well, everyone's going to be looking at me. And I said, no one's going to be looking at you, because in the nicest possible way, no one cares what you're wearing apart from you. So no one's going to be looking at you. And their response was, well, they will judge me. And I said, but why would they judge me? And they said, because I judged everyone else, so I know they judge me. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because that's a completely different mindset to me.
Yeah.
And it did open my mind to how other people think, because obviously we all think very differently.
Yes.
So I guess if you are one that naturally judges other people, you then expect to be judged in your return.
Yes.
Or if you're just completely blind to it like me, and I don't judge other people, then I just think, well, no one's judging me.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, neither is right, but neither is wrong.
Yeah. It's a funny one, isn't it, with the judging? I mean, I know from past experience, in the past when I was younger and naive, I would have judged people, but as I've grown and learned...
Yes, I think it's definitely a teenage thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
School ground.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's that they're not mature enough yet, are they? And it comes with maturity and age, I think.
Yes,
which has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of have to grow into the judging non-judgmental, because I think a lot of people just, do it. But really, again, you need to look at yourself. Rather than... Yeah.
And I think, as someone that doesn't judge, or at least I don't, I guess I do at times, because we're all only human. Essentially, we're not all blooming perfect, are we? But as in a general, I'm not a judgmental person in the slightst, but I do spot it in other people.
Yes,
I can see it, and I can,
do.
in a conversation, I can spot it. I'm like, no, I want to, and I'll step back a bit, or I'll kind of steer away, get a bit of a different energy.
That's because you've got good self-awareness, though, so you know yourself, and then you're looking at other people, and it's usually the negative people are the ones that are judging, who are in a negative mindset again and going through negative motions. So that's usually the case. And
I guess that leads quite nicely on to the next point, where it's like, do you feel judged? That's very much about what your mindset you're in, because if you are feeling bad about yourself, or you've got a low self-esteem or self-worth, you could feel that everything you're doing is being judged. And I have been in situations where I felt judged.
I have as well. You can feel it, can't you? And if you're quite a good feeler, you can usually tell if someone is judging you. Definitely. I always get a vibe or energy, and it's all about the energy. It all comes back to energy, doesn't it? That fundamentally everything comes back down to energy. Definitely. I mean, there's points to say if you're judging, and that is being negative, having a negative outlook on life. And then people that tend to judge also expect others to have perfect consistency, so they're expecting that person to... Does that make sense?
I think so. So say that again.
So if you're a person that judges, you expect everyone else around you to be perfect, I think. So that's to do with, again, mindset. Someone who judges, they're not necessarily looking at themselves.
Yes.
But they do expect... It's a bit of expectations, though, as well as judging, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So they've got much higher expectations for everyone else than perhaps themselves.
Yeah.
And does it come back to so many of our videos link, I can't remember which video it is kind of that expectancy that the world owes you a favour type, that kind of mentality. It's like, well, of course you have to be perfect, because I deserve for you to be perfect, to be perfect for me.
Yes.
So it's kind of that that kind of chip on your shoulder, world owes me a favour type thing, isn't it?
And it's also people that tend to judge think their criticism is the truth, and that's it. And it's a lot to do with that as well.
And closed-minded.
Yes.
I have found that a lot of people that the people that I've come into contact with that have been very judgmental are very closed-minded. They are small-minded, tend to talk about other people a lot.
Yes.
Which is the judgmental part, which is why you realise they're judgmental. They talk about other people a lot. And you always say, don't they, small minds talk about people.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. And it's, so it's that kind of closed mind, not sheltered's the wrong word, but closed, narrow-minded, closed, narrow-minded. They judge. Yeah. And probably because they actually can't own up to their own failings and can't own up to their own what's going wrong in them, so they like to point the finger at other people instead.
It's almost superficial, isn't it? Again, they're just not doing their own depth work, really.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Gosh, there's a lot to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
So why being judgmental affects you. So I guess this is kind of my point. I'm sorry, there's a big pigeon flying around behind it. Keeps distracting me.
It's me in the background.
I know, yeah, big old pigeon. So why being judgmental affects you. I am a huge believer in law of attraction, and there's 1,000,001 sayings. You reap what you sow, what goes around comes around, be the energy you want to attract, and so on and so forth. And I am very, very clear on that. If you start talking about another person, know for a fact they're talking about you in return. If you start judging another person, you will be judged. That any kind of negative or positive energy you put out there, you will get back. So being judgmental and judging other people for either their flaws, because really that's what judging is, isn't it? You don't really judge someone because they're amazing. That's praise.
Unless you're talking, I mean, some people, it's not judging, but sometimes when you're talking about other people, because we do talk about other people, that's human nature. Sometimes it's from an understanding point of view, not a judging point of view, though.
Yes, but I think that's different, because if we were sat here talking about a friend and we were actually praising them, that's not being judgy, is it? No. That's actually talking about them, talking them up, what qualities they have. If we're sitting here slagging someone off, that's being judgmental. That's it. And it's that. And instantly, even when we're saying it, then our energies change, because when you talk about someone's great traits, you're kind of positive, and then as soon as you say, judging them, you kind of claw back, and your negativity comes out, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But law of attraction is very much, if you are being judgmental about someone, you will get it back. Probably not directly from that person, but law of attraction states that, what you put out in the world, you will get back. So, you have to really think about how you want to live your life. If you want a positive life, start thinking positively, start acting positively, start doing things start living your life in your mind and your behaviour and the things you do and what you want to attract. Don't sit there snarling at other people, judging other people, and being downright bloody horrible and expect this beautifully wonderful happy life. The two aren't in sync. You have to change. The only person that can change your life is you. And it's as fundamental as that. That's it. Bottom line. So no point dragging anyone else into it. You've got to change. But that's why being judgmental affects you. Yes. Massively. If you gossip, and I think that's the crudest part, actually, the gossiping. And I think we've all been there, especially in our younger years, because you grow and evolve. But if you sat around, and especially teenagers, that's probably the biggest place you get. You grow up with teenagers, all sat around slagging someone off. One person walks away, instantly it turns, and you're slagging. I can actually see the pigeon in the back now. That everybody instantly turns around and starts slagging that person off that's just walked away. That doesn't change as you get older. So no, when you enter those circles, in whatever situation it is, whether it be a friendship circle or sitting at a table at a pub or at work, if you are all being negative about someone and slagging someone off, being judgmental, no, the second you turn your back, you're next on the list. So avoid. That's the easiest way, or shut it down. That's it. That's the easiest way, isn't it?
That's it.
Anything to add to that?
No, you don't have to get involved in that sort of negativity, do you?
Exactly. Upgrade your circle, as we say. Upgrade. And is it any of your business being judgmental? So I think that's quite two-sided, because firstly, what someone else thinks of you is none of your business, because you're never going to really know. You can never know.
Some people like you, some people won't like you.
And I always find this phrase a really funny thing, and I've probably said it a million times until I actually sat back. It's like, when someone says, I know what you're thinking, you think, no you don't. How could you possibly know what I'm thinking? No one knows what I'm thinking. Exactly. But do you know what? We've all probably said it, but actually, in reality, it's the most ridiculous phrase, because how can you ever possibly know what someone else is thinking? And what they're thinking is none of your business, unless they choose to share it with you. Because you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I know what they're thinking. They're thinking this, and this of me. And actually, they really don't give a shit about you. And they're just thinking about what they're having for dinner. Yeah. And we're, you know, and you're doing that self-absorbed thing. We think, well, of course they're thinking about me. Well, of course they're not. No. It's highly likely they're not. And actually, what other people are doing, is it any of your business?
No. You just do what you got to do for you. Not worry about anyone else. Yeah. Do you. Don't worry about people judging you. That's their problem.
Yeah. And don't judge anyone else.
Yeah.
Because then that's your problem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we cover everything?
I think we have.
And the pigeon's gone now, so see you, Pidge. Right. That good?
Bye.
Bye.